Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And one of the videos that I needed to create after our deep dive with Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage is how the heck do I calculate a blended rate? If you remember the conversation from last Saturday, we talked about the 50, 40, 10, 60, 30, 10. We talked about a lot of first and seconds. The first and second very likely having different interest rates. The 50, 40, 10 that I imagine the second will be significantly lower than the first. And in that conversation, a lot of you have asked, well, how the heck do I calculate a blended interest rate, right? If the first is at 7 and the second's at 2, what is my rate? So I don't pretend to be the best at Excel. I don't even know if this is the way that's most efficient, but I wanted to show you a way that I have built to calculate my effective or my blended rate. So this is just a very quick Excel spreadsheet. We will go through each column together so you can build this yourself. It is not sophisticated. Again, my intention here is you could copy this video very quickly and build this yourself. Once we do this, we will go through various examples and look at what blended rate might be. So let me bring it up. Again, we will go through this together slowly, and then we will look at some examples and see what the impact is of our blended rate. So let me share this with you now. So again, here is the very simple spreadsheet. Again, I don't know if this is the most efficient. It's definitely not the sexiest. Some of you Excel wizards can probably make this a lot prettier, but let me walk through it. So when we start in column C, and we're going to go left to right. So column C is the debt, right? 50, 40, 10 example. So 50 is the first and 40 is the second. Actually, you know what? Let's just call that out. Nope. Stop. Stop. Okay, there we go. This is the first and this is the second. Okay. And we will change that in a moment. So the first thing I needed to do is I needed to accumulate the debt. So there's 50, 40. So the total debt is 90. This is a percentage, right? 50, 40 is a percent, 90 is the total. So what I need to do first is I need to figure out what percent 50 is of the 90, right? Because it's not just 50%, it's actually slightly more, right? It is actually, in this case, 55.5%. The first in this position is, again, 55% of the debt. The total purchase is 100, right? So again, here might be 10, but this is down payment or equity, right? So again, this is not in the picture. We are worried about the debt. So again, the first in this case is 55%. The second is 44%. Now what you can do is you can just put in the rate, and we will change this up as we go forward. So this again is trying to answer what is the blended rate of my debt. So in this case, we're going to get a first mortgage from Velocity or someone else at 7.5%. So the impact or the impact of that debt, because you take 7.5 times 55.5%, you get an effective portion of 4.167. In this case, we have a 2% interest rate on the second, which again is 44.4%. Multiply that out, you're getting a 0.8%. So again, you simply add those numbers together and you get a blended rate just over 5%. So again, a lot of you understand that when I try to do the 50, 40, 10, I am trying to get below market interest rates on the total debt. Yes, I have to go through a non-QM lender. That's just what I have to do for the first, but then we get to negotiate with the second. So let's change this up. Let's just see how this works. Let's assume that we're going to get 70% from Velocity and only 20% from the seller. If this formula works, the blended rate should go up, and it probably should go up significantly, but I haven't actually tested this. We're doing this together the first time. Let's see what happens. So in this case, we're going to make this 70 and we're going to make this 20 because again, we want to total this 90. Look at that. The interest rate blows up. It goes over 6% because again, you're getting a lion's share or a larger proportion from the first, and the second at 2% is a much smaller portion. Let's change it up. let's assume, actually, this doesn't matter. Let's assume this case, the seller only wants 30%. You're going to get 30% from the seller, and then you're going to get 60%, or you're going to get 30% from the velocity or other lender, and the seller wants to carry 60% back. Again, the whole idea is to get to 90% in this example. The rate goes down, right? The rate goes down to sub 4%. This is very simple. You do need to calculate what percent of debt the first has. Again, you can change the rate, make the rate 9%. By changing the rate to 9%, the blended rate should go up. Look at that, it does. You take this down, it goes down, 7.75, whatever it is. And oh, by the way, if you make this 1%, it goes down even further. So again, all of this is very common. So in order to calculate your blended rate, you need to get the total percent of debt for the first and second, like 30% first, 40% second, 50, 40, 10, right? Then you need to get the total, right? Which in this case is 90% of debt. You do the simple math. This divided by that gets you a percentage. We could actually make this a percentage, I guess. Let's make it, let's make it 2 decimals. You can all do this yourself, of course. And again, this is just the rate you get from the 2 lenders. This in case is the seller. What happens if this is 3%? It goes up. And that's how I calculate the blended rate. Again, I'm positive there are sexier and prettier ways to do this. This is just how I went through it very quickly because I owed this to you. So again, this is how I calculate my blended rate. My whole goal with the 50/40 is to get this blended rate. I want this blended rate, in all honesty, below 5%. That's what I'm shooting for. And again, remember with the 50/40/10, I could overpay on price. But again, my goal is to get the blended rate sub 5% and ideally sub 4%. But, we will see what happens. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you enjoyed this. This is something I owed from last weekend. So I wanted to bring it to you here. All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.